In your experience, what's the biggest mistake event planners make when trying to create a memorable experience?
Well, they try to create a memorable experience. You can't try.
There you go.
You can't try. You gotta go with what you think is right for the brand, what you think is right for the clients. A memorable experience can be 10 seconds as part of a 5-hour event. The thing for me is that, the work sometimes, it's just we've done things in my office like, floating centerpieces and things like that, right? The event itself, take it or leave it, but that's your memorable experience, right? People left that job saying, good event, everything worked well, good speakers, whatever, right? The client, though, didn't want a big experience, but we made it memorable because everyone's centerpiece was floating, right? And that was just one thing to do on a table to create conversation. And so I think that's the biggest mistake, is everyone's trying so hard to be experiential and trying so hard and no one's actually doing anything new. They're just seeing something online and trying to recreate it, and spending so much time trying to do something memorable. And I think, again, we don't track data very well. People will dispute this with me, but we don't, right? We don't. So we don't have any quantifiable, math or anything which suggests whether an event was, more memorable. So do what the brand or client or company requires. Add in your specific pop of creativity, your idea, your whatever else, but don't try. Don't try. If it's not memorable, maybe it's not meant to be memorable. Right? But it doesn't mean you're not providing value to the client. If the client's hiring you, you give them what they need. You give them great service. You give them great quality. You give them great creative. And that's what becomes memorable.
Yeah.
But not every job is meant to be that way.
Right. I think a lot of event planners too, I see it quite a bit. I think COVID helped us a little bit take a step back from us being just event planners, like, going and doing and thinking of it from the attendee's experience.
Yeah.
Going back to that moment where, is it a memorable event for the event planner or for the attendee? And that's where we get it wrong a lot of times. So
2 things. Let's change some of the vocabulary even that you're using, and let's start calling everyone event professionals instead of event planners.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a title that is representative of an industry of people who are doing real work.
Right.
I think number 2, when you talk about memorable things, the other side of the coin, right, is that many events are memorable because of things that weren't positive. So sometimes the best case scenario is it's just not memorable at all. Right? Registration went smooth. How many times do you hear, I went to this event, the speakers were awesome, but I had to wait an hour to get into the event and the food sucked.
Yep.
So what's the core memory there? Is the core memory the speaker was great? Or is the core memory they waited an hour to get in and the food sucked?
Yeah.
Or, I had registered early and it didn't work, or they didn't have a seat for me, or whatever, right? The linens were silk and they were slidey, and it was a served dinner, and so everything was kind of sliding all over the place. There was no water, whatever, right? That's what you hear from an event. Very rarely do you hear everyone come out of an event and go, let me tell you what was cool about that. Right? There's always complaints that go with it. So as an event professional, if you can really show value by eliminating all of the things that people would complain about, right, now you'll start to create positive memories.
Yeah.
And that's really what our industry needs, because then again, we can start setting value on our time and on the job we're doing.